Practical application. Ordinarily, human beings are inclined to believe that they possess a true and lasting self, in some form or other. Some people attach to their mind as the self. Some believe that something exists separate and yet somehow connected to the mind, which acts on another level to be responsible for and to control the body and mind. The exposition of the 5 aggregates is intended to reveal how that which is called a being, a person, or self, when it is closely examined and analysed, is simply comprised of these 5 components. There is no residual essence or substance existing separate from these 5. And even these 5 aggregates exist within an interdependent relationship. They do not exist independently, they are not autonomous. Therefore, these aggregates too do not function or exist as a stable, substantial self. In sum, the teaching on the 5 aggregates refers to the principle of selflessness, anatta, non-self, not self. Human life consists of a convergence of various elements or parts. There exists no substantial self as unifying principle or center point of these parts. None of the aggregates, components, etc. exist as a stable, lasting self, and no such self exists apart from them. When one gains insight into this truth, one lets go of one's attachments to self. This principle of non-self is clarified in the teaching on dependent origination in relation to the 5 aggregates. Furthermore, when one understands that the 5 aggregates exist in an interrelated and interdependent manner, one will not develop the wrong views of either annihilationism, Ucheda Diti, or eternalism, Sasata Diti. Moreover, this understanding also leads to a correct understanding of the workings of karma. Again, the teaching on dependent origination explains this interrelationship and interdependence in more depth. Examining things by separating them into the 5 aggregates helps to train one's thinking abilities, and it nourishes the disposition to analyze the truth. When one encounters or engages with something, one does not look simply at surface appearances. Instead, one includes towards investigation and inquiry of deeper truths. And crucially, this examination leads to an objective discernment of things, to see things as they are. This in contrast to a subjective understanding by which one relates to things by way of craving and grasping, Tana Upadana, and sees things according to one's preferences and aversions. An objective understanding is the goal of Buddha and of this teaching on the 5 aggregates. Rather than relating to things by way of attachment, craving and grasping, one relates to them by way of wisdom. In any case, the Buddha normally did not teach about the 5 aggregates in isolation. In most cases, the 5 aggregates are the chief factors of consideration within the context of other principles and teachings, which act as the criteria for contemplating and determining the nature and function of these aggregates. The five aggregates need to be examined in relation to other principles, say of non-self, anatta, in order to fully appreciate their value on a practical level. The benefits of such contemplation will become clear in subsequent chapters.